G'day everyone, Sid here again to do another commentary and a Wind Archer showcase, a skill showcase, pretty much going through why I love this class over Dawn Warrior and your Thunderbreaker. Before we get started, hi Kira, also known as Axel, you're a big potato, and Kelly, Missable. Alright, so I'll just go to a map where I can attack and show you guys some of the skills. So, first of all, I'm going to show you guys the first job skills. The main attack skills in the first job is your Breeze Arrow. So it does 120% damage at max, does 3 attacks, and it hits up to 5 enemies. And this is pretty much what it looks like. So yeah, it's a pretty good skill for mobbing at early levels. In my opinion, a lot better than the previous Seeker's Knights, which was totally trash. Next on the list is probably by far one of my most favorite skills about Wind Archer. This is your Wind Walk. So, who's ever wanted to walk on air? I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone's always had that thought, you know, walk on air. Amazing, right? Well, with the Wind Archer, you can. You can just float across in the sky like you don't care about anything, fly around. It's pretty nifty, right? So yeah, also this skill can be used for pretty much every scenario if you want to move across the map quickly, fly across the map, or just basically when you get knocked back and you want to get back into the fight quickly, so you just press back. That's your two active, your attack skills, and your passive. And your passive skill is Whispers of the Wind. 20 weapon attack, 400 accuracy, 400 avoidability, and increases your range to 160. Storm Elemental, your active skill, it gives 10% extra damage and it lasts for 180 seconds at max level. Pretty much this is just what your Knight of Cygnus summon used to look like, except now it's turned into a buff. So yeah, not that interesting, still pretty cool. Next on the second job is, first of all, Fairy Spiral. A very useful mobbing skill for second job. Pretty much 195% damage, 3 lines of attack again, and it knocks back enemies this time, 5 enemies. So this is what it looks like. Basically it looks like you're slapping someone with a big curtain, but yeah. So pretty useful skill, very good for mobbing second job. Next on the list is your Gust Shot. It can hit up to 6 enemies and it does 285% damage and does 2 lines of attack. Very good as well. Personally not my favorite, but very useful. Of course my favorite would still have to be the Gusts. Just look at it, you slap someone. Okay, so yeah, that's your Gust Wind. Your next is your first time that you can actually get little missiles or little arrows. This is pretty much similar to your Xenon. Basically it has the same, well, it does the same thing pretty much. It's called Trifling Wind. It just has little arrows flying out, does 170% damage to random enemies and so on. Next is your Bow Mastery, plus 50% Bow Masteries and 120 weapon accuracy. Very useful, so you don't miss things all the time. Next, your Physical Training. I think all classes have that now, I'm not sure. But increase strength and dex by 30. Pretty useful, very good. Next is your Bow Booster. So really not much to the animation itself. Also, if you guys didn't notice, the constant green spiral is from your Storm Elemental, the first jump skill. So yeah, this is basically a Bow Booster, just increase attack speed. Sylvan Aid, I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. Sylvan Aid. Pretty much increase 20 weapon attack, 10% crit rate, and no arrows used during this period of time. So this is what it looks like, little guy flying out. Basically this is your equivalent of Soul Arrow for your archers and so on, but it also gives the added attack and crit rate, which is very good. One of my other most favorite skills about a Wind Archer is the ability to control this skill so well. This is your Sentient Arrow. Attacks 6 enemies, 150% damage, maximum range is 350. Not the longest range, but yeah, it doesn't activate Trifling Wind, so not as good. But look at this. It looks very cool, and you can control it. It goes up and down platforms, go above you. Of course, there's no platform above me, so it can't really go above me. But yeah, you can control it all you want. You can make it stay there. You can make it move around like this. Yeah, it's a very nifty skill. I love it. It's so cool. Next on the skill is Pinpoint Pierce, a very strong attack. It's a one-target attack though. 340% damage. It does 2 attacks. So yeah, it's very strong. It also does debuff 20%. So yeah. So as you can see, it's very strong. And the little arrows that you see flying out before, those were the trifling wind. Basically, those are the equivalent of the Xenon's little missiles. So yeah, you see those little things flying out? Those were your trifling winds. Now next, your trifling wind 2, obviously the upgraded version, slightly more damage, nothing new pretty much. Still 30% to activate. Featherweight, this is pretty much equivalent to the Mercedes water bubble shield. I forgot the name of it actually. Very embarrassing since I made Mercedes, but Featherweight, same as the water bubble, take 30% less damage. And it ignores abnormal status and elemental resistance by 10. It's pretty good. And it's only a 3rd job skill, so very good. Second wind, pretty much just basically it increases your avoidability passively by 30%, weapon defense and magic defense by 1000, and weapon attack for 5 seconds after you avoid something. So if you get attacked and it misses you, then pretty much what you can do is just get a slight buff for weapon attack. Next, your Albatross. Yeah, so this is what it looks like. Basically, 20 weapon attack, max HP 1500, crit rate 10%, and of course your bonus increased attack speed. Very useful in my opinion. So always attack speed, higher you get, better it is. Isn't that right? Maybe it's just me. Okay, so Emerald Flower, next skill. This is a very pretty skill. Just do it somewhere where you can see it properly. So there we go. It looks like a flower made of emerald with dirt growing out the bottom, a little fairy flying inside. Yeah, so this is your Emerald Flower. It lasts for 60 seconds, 20,000 HP, and it slows nearby enemies. As you can see, this Yeti is being slowed. So yeah, very useful. It's like, also acts as the puppet. So in doubt, I think something tries to attack you, it will attack the Emerald Flower first. This is equivalent to your puppet, 3rd job for archers. So yeah, very nifty. Now onto the 4th job skills. This is where things get flashy. So you guys know all about Hurricane, Ishtar's Ring, and so on. Those are probably the fastest attacking skills that you've ever seen. But it's only one target, right? But with Song of Heaven, that the Wind Archers have, it can mob up to 4 enemies. And every less enemy you have, the more damage you do. So it's not maxed yet, I'm not maxed out yet, but it can go up more. But basically this is what you see. It can mob much better than Ishtar's Ring and Hurricane, in my opinion. I mean, fast attack speed and mobbing skills, what more can you ask for? Okay, next on the list, Spiraling Vortex. You've probably all seen this skill, I've used it many times as well. It's a very strong attack, 380% damage, and it can knock back up to 7 enemies, so 7 enemies. Also it does splash attack, so potentially you can do up to 9, it can do up to 7 attack. It's a 5-line attack. If you get hyper, you can increase it more. But if you get the splash damage, it'll be a 7-line attack. And the splash damage does 230% damage. Still very high. Very useful. Next, you have your Trifling Wind. Once again, it upgrades the damage, and activation chance increased to 40%. Pretty useful. Next, your Bow Expert. Bow Mastery now 70%, weapon attack 30, and minimum critical damage 15%. Pretty good, right? Emerald Dust, upgrade version of Emerald Flower. Basically, it's now 40,000 max HP and ignores 10% of enemies' defense. Very useful. Make sure you use this if you're going to mob things. So yeah. Next, your Albatross Max, upgraded version of Albatross, your third job skill. So if you didn't see, this is the Albatross before we had. Basically 50 weapon attack now, 25% of enemy, 25% damage and 15% ignored enemy defense, and 25% crit rate. Isn't that amazing? So good. And also 15% abnormal status and elemental resistance, and also additional attack speed. Always a bonus. This is your equivalent to Maple Warrior and Nova Warrior for Kaisers and normal adventurers and so on. Basically, same thing, 15% all stat, 900 seconds at max level. So this is what it looks like. Pretty fresh look, in my opinion. Yeah. This is your Wind Blessing, 12% dex, 30% accuracy, 30% avoidability, and max HP 20%. Very helpful. Basically, it's just a massive bell, oversized bell in my opinion, with two little guys shooting it to knock down some blessing for you. Sharp Eyes, always a must. Sharp Eyes, 20% crit rate, max crit damage, 30%, lasts for 300 seconds. Very nice. Next, you have your hyper skills. So this is probably what most of you want to see. Stormbringer, so you've guys seen this. It's the slightly bigger version of Trifling Wind. It looks like little swords that fly out. I'm going to see if I can get any out. I don't think I'm actually going to get any out, but it's just basically, it does 500%. Oh, you saw that little arrow fly out, little sword fly out? That's pretty much what it is. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to get much more enemies, so yeah. Okay, you get the idea. You'll see in my bossing videos the little swords that fly out horizontally from this angle. Next is probably what you guys want to see the most. This is the equivalent of the Thunderbreaker's whale attack called Monsoon. Basically, that's what it pretty much looks like. Whole map attack. It does attacks 12 times and attacks up to 15 enemies, 430% damage, and it has a 200% debuff damage. I haven't actually unlocked Glory Guarding because I'm not level 200, so it's not a full showcase, but not much difference. Basically, it's just 10% damage increase and max damage increase cap. So yeah, and if you have other Sickness kind of classes in the party, they get the buff as well. And yeah, I forgot to mention Stormbringer's arrows do 500% of damage, so they hit more than what I normally hit. So yeah, once again, this is probably one of my favorite classes at the moment, simply because, you know, you can walk in the air. Yeah. You're jealous? People, you jealous? Especially you, Kira. Okay, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you have more questions or other queries about this class, post in a comment or send me a message. If you're in Carney, you can also always come find me and ask me. Thanks for watching. Peace.